Hey guys, welcome to One Side Logic. I'm Joe,
I'm Anthony.
and we've been kind of into talks the past couple of months of making our own podcast, and I listen to a lot of podcasts on like iTunes and Spotify, and we thought it'd be really cool to kind of make our own podcast, and so we decided to call it One Side Logic. So the podcast discussions are kind of goofy. We kind of give our insight on things, and just two guys
Whatever
talking. We've
comes to
been
mind is usually what we say. Yeah.
pretty much whatever comes to mind. Just basically stuff not really to go by. It's just not really the best logic ever, but it's funny, and it's not only just going to be me and Anthony. There we got some other friends that are going to join us from time to time, but me and Anthony are going to be like the main two co-hosts.
Disclaimer: if anything sounds like too extreme or whatever, just know that it's not serious. Most of the time, we're
Yeah.
joking. So.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
joking all the time. Just disclaimer before we get into the podcast. But before we kind of get into the podcast, also another disclaimer. Anthony is currently at work. We decided to start this while he's at work. Go figure. Excuse me, but yeah. So if you guys just hear a little background noise, that's just because he's at work. We're probably just gonna record this when, because I'm at home right now, but he's not, and so at home he's got a much better mic, but the mic works fine right now, and so we just decided to start this podcast. So we'll kind of go off by I guess some background information about each of us. Do you want to start, Nathan?
Yeah, sure. So I'm 29 years old. I live in the southern part of the east side of United States. Yeah, I work for the state. Actually, I've been doing it for like 11 years. I work nights. I date probably one of the most beautiful and intelligent women I've ever met. She's also my best friend. And yeah, I'm just kind of, I game for fun, and that's going to be talked about quite a bit. So I think that's pretty much it. Go ahead, Joe.
Awesome. Yeah, he's got a beautiful, amazing girlfriend. I know his girlfriend. I've been friends with her for years, and she. So a little bit of background information about myself. I live. I thought you were gonna go off on the tail like the southeast west quadrant of South Carolina, but anyways, I live in New York. I've always lived in New York my entire life. I live in a small town outside of Albany called Castleton. I graduated from high school last summer, and so right now I'm attending Clarkson University. So I'm 18 right now, and I'm studying to be an electrical engineering major. So currently I'm like sitting in my dorm, but I got my whole recording set up. I'm a YouTube gamer and I game all the time, but yeah, we just decided to start this podcast, and so I'm really excited about it. But also, like, I know his girlfriend because she used to live in my hometown before she moved down and started dating Anthony. So that's how him and I met. Just so you guys know in later podcasts, just so we don't get questions. Oh shit, I shit my pants, sorry.
I forgot to mention, I actually recently graduated as a bachelor's in web design. So I do a lot of website stuff, which is actually part of the reason why we decided to do this podcast is because we actually run a Minecraft server, but I do a lot of the coding for that. Which, yeah, that's something we decided to do together, and it's been working out pretty well so far. Joe, if you want to comment on that?
yeah, man. But yeah, he's educated. He's educated, so he's he knows what he's doing. So we just kind of wanted this first podcast to just kind of be like information, and so we kind of got that part of the way, who we are, how we met. So we kind of met through the girlfriend situation with his side. I'm single, so all the men out there that want to message me, no, I'm just kidding. I'm straight, but gay inside. Anyways, so we'll just kind of start out with, I guess, a question. Well, so we got some questions. I got a couple questions from people from my college and other stuff like that, because we've been thinking about doing this for a while, and not only from my college but online. And so we're just gonna do some random questions, and Nismo and I are going to, well, Sorry, I call him his Anthony's nickname is Nismo. Just so if I ever call him Nismo, but I'll try and
It's
call
the
him.
handle that I've gone by for
Yeah.
years and years. So I've just tried to be more professional with this as far as like having people call me by my real name, but you can call me Niz. It's cool.
Sweet. All right, so here's the header. I'm going to let you answer this one first. And
Go ahead.
is it gay to do this?
Oh Jesus.
Is it gay to fart in a cup and smell?
No, I wouldn't say it's gay. In fact, I as I was younger or whatever, I'd have friends of mine fart in the coffee can, and we save it,
God.
and then we go back to it like a year later. And, oh my God, it stank so bad. It was probably the worst smell ever.
Wait, so... Oh my God, I've never even heard this.
You ever played fart in a can?
So you will actually fart in a can and like the smell of the fart will actually stay in the can?
Of course it will.
What?
Yeah. It was a thing that we used to do like years and years ago.
So you guys would take like like those like 1 pound coffee cans, and when it's empty, like the tin coffee cans.
Precisely.
And
Yeah,
you fart
the
in
longest
it.
that we've ever waited to open it was a year, and when we opened it, we like wanted to die. So yeah.
Oh my God, that's like probably one of the raunchiest things I've heard. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
It's not that bad. I mean,
Personally, I don't really find it gay to fart in a cup of... Like, I personally like smelling my farts, and I enjoy smelling other people's farts.
no. I think the only way that it would be like, would it be where it becomes a thing that's over the line is if like you're cupping it and putting it in someone else's face. That's probably not the right thing to do. But
Yeah, that's a little weird. I think my own farts are pretty good. I like them. So all right, let's go on to another question.
This podcast is doing really good. We're talking about farts already.
This is already coming to weird places. Okay. All right, so here's another one. This one's a topic of factories here. Do factories that produce solar panels use solar power?
Oh.
Huh.
That's an interesting question. I mean, I would say that they probably don't, but could they?
Yeah, you would would it supply enough power? Like maybe if they had
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I know I'm an electrical engineer, but I'm only in my freshman year, and so I don't really know much about this.
Right.
But I'd say it would to run a factory that makes such a high quality product. I would say it's almost it's not really cost efficient because you would have to lay down so much of so big of an array of solar panels just to power that factory. Like solar panels are great and they've come a really long way, but to running a factory, I've never heard of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think major factories would not be able to produce enough power with solar.
Yeah.
Like solar is great for like a residential house, but to run a major factory, it's just not efficient enough yet. Maybe one day it will be, but yeah.
Yeah. I just a little bit off topic. I've heard Tesla is actually making roofing tiles that are solar panels, but when you look at them from the normal angle that you do roofing tiles, like at a pretty sharp angle, you don't see it as a solar panel. Like it, those weird, that shit you get in like a McDonald's or like a Burger King toy bag, where like if it's like an image and if you tilt it one way, it turns into another image. That's exactly what it's like. Where you don't see the solar panel, but when you look at it straight on, you see it. It's weird.
I did see those. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
just have like if someone's building a new house, to just use those instead. Yeah.
Technology is coming a really long way, like a really long way. But all right.
Kind of related to what you just said. Like how much longer do you think it would take to get to the point where like we actually have flying vehicles? Because that's something that's, like when I'm sure like when you were younger, they were saying, oh yeah, by the time we hit, 2000 or 2020, we'll have flying cars, but like they're not quite there yet. So how much longer do you think it's going to take till we get there?
Yeah, well, I know that like in Los Angeles and stuff like that, and Las Vegas are starting to make hyperloops that are they run. Oh, there's Nismo's call, but yes,
Sorry.
yeah, no. When just a little disclaimer, guys. When Nismo gets a call, he's going to mute himself, and I'll just talk it out a little bit. But I heard in Los Angeles and LA, they're kind of like making these hyperloops, like electromagnetic hyperloops, where the I don't know, I'm not fucking techie, but like the force of the magnets keep the hyperloop off the track by a certain distance, and like apparently it can reach speeds of like 180, 200, 250 miles an hour inside the hyperloop. And so I honestly think that flying cars are going to use that same technology instead of like air vents that I'd say like the Air Force uses for like vertical lifts offs and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of what I think about that. I think it's really, really interesting where technology is going. Like, I'm going into an electrical engineering major, and it's just nice thing about electrical engineering, guys. If you guys want to just work hard in college for 4 years and come out with a really nice degree where you are guaranteed a job, electrical engineering, and no, it's not an electrician. It is something way more advanced than an electrician. You're basically like your phone, military equipment, military defense, computers, excuse me, I had to burp, laptops, like anything that has electricity in it and like electronic components requires an electrical engineer. Like, you design that to make it the most efficient electrical wise, and like efficiencies and stuff like that, and circuits and blah 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 blah. But like, your starting salary for an electrical engineer will be like, depending on the state, will be like 70, 80, 90, and even maybe like sometimes 100 grand. But like, there's a shortage of electrical engineers because it's honestly, I looked it up, it's one of the hardest majors in the country right now to pass with. But when you graduate with that diploma, you get some wicked rewards. It's really, really rewarding. So I got through my first semester at Clarkson. It was mostly, I took like calculus-based courses, physics-based courses, and chemistry-based courses. And this semester I'm taking, nice thing as an electrical engineer, if you don't like chemistry, you don't have to take a lot of chemistry. I only had to take one chemistry course, and I got that through. But it's a lot of physics, calc, and circuits courses. And if you're really interested in that shit, you should really get into it. Because it's not really that big of a program at any university. Like, you're not gonna find a shit ton of kids. Like, if you're okay, so here's my little spiel on engineering. I've researched this a lot. I'm really, really interested, and I'm really knowledgeable. Not of like the engineering field, but not like the specifics, like what each engineer does. However, if you want to go into the engineering field, I'm just going to tell you what engineering fields, because within engineering, there's different fields that you can go in. Here's just a little life advice that you should actually follow. Most of the shit in our podcast, you should not follow at all. But, mechanical engineering is overflooded. Civil engineers is overflooded. However, with our shitty infrastructure and everything going on, we're probably going to need them in the future. But civil engineering, very flooded. What else? I know environmental engineering, biomedical engineering is pretty flooded. Engineering fields that are kind of scarce and not many people graduate from, and there's always going to be a job for you: electrical engineering, petroleum engineering, naval engineering, nuclear engineering, and fuck, I had one more. Fuck it, I don't know, but there's nice thing about it is nuclear is always going to be out there, like, because nuclear waste is one thing we found that's really hard. Is ever since the Manhattan Project, back in World War II, when we created Little Boy and Fat Man, I think I got that right, but it's really hard to get rid of nuclear waste. Like once we create nuclear power plants, it's really hard to get rid of that waste. Like the half-life of uranium or whatever the fuck it is, or petroleum, it takes a couple hundred to couple thousand years for that shit to decay. And so, and you guys might not realize it, but your houses may run on nuclear energy, like from a nuclear power plant. Like that might be how you get your energy. But yeah, if you guys want a really, really decent major, and if you guys want a really good job out of college, if you're interested and if you're creative and you're good at communication skills, engineering is the way to go. But since oh, I thought this was back. But yeah, so if you guys kind of like want to email me a little bit, or here, well, my YouTube name is Unison Gaming. Big U, Big G, not the Big D. I know all the guys out there are looking for it, but yeah, it's just Unison Gaming, all one word. That's my YouTube. You guys can probably see my face reveal on that. I don't really know where this podcast is gonna go. If I upload it to a platform, definitely gonna stick with it. I hope you guys kind of. I know this might not be the most ideal podcast right now, but like. This is the first time with us ever doing a podcast, and yeah, it's just our first time, and we're gonna learn. And I've listened to some really, really good podcasts out there with a lot of organization, and I'm not gonna lie, like this first podcast, I just wanted to try it out, and this one's definitely gonna be uploaded, no matter how shitty it is, but because I want to see like a progression in our skills. But me and Anthony, we kind of want to create like a whole series of our podcasts from like the start to whenever, and we want to see like a transformation. And so I'm not gonna lie, like this whole podcast is kind of like open mic with me and Anthony, but
a whole new something.
Exactly, a whole new penis. But anyways, like
whoa.
If you, but like these podcasts will become like really organized, and like so we'll learn from.
Yeah, we're planning to do like sections with guests and all that.
Yeah,
where they talk about stuff. And
yeah, we already have some really cool ideas. But yeah, I'm
got
not gonna
a couple ideas in mind lined up for people that just want to come on and talk and do whatever.
This first podcast share their thoughts, completely open mic, but
how much they hate Joe, stuff like that.
Exactly, everybody hates me. But like. Yeah, so this is all open mic, and sometimes you get the best conversations out of open mic, but what I'm trying to think of doing is having half of our podcast be kind of organized, so like organized topics, but it's still open mic, like our opinions are delved in, and then
you have like keynotes so that you can pick on certain different certain things,
exactly,
not to where it drifts so far that it's like not on topic.
Yeah, like I don't want to.
But most of it is going to be unscripted and just kind of whatever comes to mind is going to pop out. Like
like if we're talking about
when you
submarines, I don't want to end up talking
onto your
about
sandwich and it's gooey and delicious. Yeah, kind of like that.
Exactly. I don't want to be talking about like submarines and then we drift off to the Vietnamese sex like slave trade. But anyways, but yeah, and so I'm thinking for future podcasts, just so you guys could be aware, half of the podcast we'll have like keynotes, so just like Nismo described, but the other half will just be pure open mic. And so if you guys prefer both, then stay for both. If you guys prefer the first one, we're going to probably do the keynotes for the first one, like for the first half, maybe like first 45 minutes to an hour or something like that. I don't know, but I hope you guys are liking us and liking the podcast. And I'm going to be honest, I've watched a lot of podcasts, and everybody's first podcast is really fucking hard to stick to. It's kind of like watching the first episode of a show or like a series. You are like, wow, this is just a lot of information, and I'm not seeing any action. That's kind of what our first couple of episodes is going to be like. But I hope you guys tune in and stick in there. And who knows, we might get a majority of our crowd in the later podcasts when they're more organized. But it's good to start somewhere.
And feel free to like suggest stuff to us, because like Joe keeps saying, like, we're new to this. We don't really know what the hell we're doing. So
Yeah.
if you have like something in mind that you want us to talk about, we're open to it. As long as it's
Exactly.
not like something that would get us in trouble. But other than that, yeah, go ahead. Just write your thoughts. Let
Exactly.
us know, how we're doing and stuff, and we'll try to listen to that or totally ignore it. One of the two. But yeah.
All right. Here's another one. How do blind people know if the Braille text is straight or inverted?
Straight or inverted? What do you mean by inverted?
Oh, like reading it backwards.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they still know like right from left, like read left to right. Oh my
That brings
god.
up an interesting point though. Like, what if someone is Chinese and they're blind and they're reading Braille? They read
They read down, don't they?
in the
Down.
opposite. Do they read down? I thought it was because every anime or manga, I should say, is backwards. You read the pages
Really?
from right to left. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I'm basing
I
this
wonder if
off
they
of like
print I wonder
1000
if they print the
AD.
Braille from right to left. Do you think they do?
Man, that would fuck someone up. Like, imagine blindfold. No, wait, shit, you don't even blindfold a blind person. Okay, fuck. Alright, so you get a blind person, put them in the Americas, like the States, and...
Hold on. Would somebody that reads Braille from right to left have to translate?
Maybe. But how did they translate it?
Oh, I don't know.
Fuck.
They would have to be able to read it both ways.
Wait, how do blind people even learn a language? That was probably really dumb.
That was come on. They should understand their own language.
Well, how did they understand? Oh, because blind people can still hear. Fuck. I was thinking like some Helen Keller situation where like they don't know what the fuck is going on. Jesus Christ. I completely forgot that they could hear. I thought like blind people were like blind and deaf, but
No. Like
that
if somebody
makes
that was
sense.
two blind people have a manga, right? They're reading it. And one of course can read Chinese, one of course understands English and maybe can understand, how Chinese sounds to them, whatever. But like if the Chinese person's reading the manga from right to left, they would have to, I guess, translate it to the person that only understands English,
Yeah. Wow.
because they wouldn't be able to read the book because they're so
Yeah.
used to reading from left to right. So
That would really fuck someone up.
That
Just
would
putting
really
like a
mess
blind
them up.
person in another country and just fucking leaving them there, and then they have
Say,
to like
"Here, read
relearn.
this."
Yeah. Shit. That's weird.
yeah, that was a good question.
That was a great question. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to another one. Okay. Should I get McDonald's for lunch?
No,
No.
no.
Wendy's.
Wendy's is better, but still not.
Yeah. All right. If someone handed you like $50 right now, and you had to go somewhere within 10 miles of your house, for
You said
lunch
$10,
for $50.
$50.
Well, I don't know, like just a gift card to whatever
If somebody
food
gave me a 20 right now and said, "Hey, go find food,"
Yeah.
and I'm leaving from my house,
within 10 miles of your house, where would you go?
the first place that I would go to would be the Bagel Nation place that's like right down the street from me.
Oh.
They have really good bagels that you can put like anything you want on.
It's probably also like a sandwich shop, isn't it?
Yeah. They have
Yeah.
they have gyros.
Wow.
They have they got everything. It's a really good spot to go.
Damn. Yeah, I eat a lot of Panera. I'm a big Panera guy.
I'm not a huge fan of Panera. Like,
No?
I know when I was up there, we went with, a friend, whatever, but I was like, I'm not a huge fan of Panera. It's just a lot of bread to me. Like, I love bagels because you can, it's just a smaller piece of bread that you can put whatever you want on, but, like, to eat, like, a whole, like, soup bowl of bread just seems like too much. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That's a hard question because I just love any food. But I'd say, I love Moe's. I go to Moe's all the time.
I go to Moe's. Moe's is good.
Moe's is good.
I've never been in a Chipotle, and I don't want to be in one, but Moe's is good.
All right.
Um,
Here's another one. How is there snow on Mount Everest if the clouds are below it?
dude, I
Fuck.
read that today, and it actually.
What's the explanation? I don't know. I gravity's
I read that
backwards.
today. No. Because if you think about it, the snow was like it's always been there, right? So
Oh.
yeah,
Wait, so that's like of years old of snow.
yeah.
Wow.
No, like thousands probably. You know.
That is odd.
Yeah.
Damn. I would have been like, no, there's no snow on top of Mount Everest, but I know there's snow, but it's like the clouds are below it. That's fucking weird, man.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Well, all right. Okay. So here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
How often should a person typically shower?
Twice a week.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Twice a week.
how often do you shower?
Probably about 3 times a week.
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird to me.
Why is that weird?
I shower almost 2 times a day, every day.
Do you realize that's like really bad for you, right?
I don't give a fuck. I feel clean and squeaky.
Yeah, no, but you can actually be like too clean and you're like hurting your body.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's like certain like bacteria that resides on your body that actually promotes good health.
Oh, it's like good bacteria. Like the good bacteria
Yeah.
in like your mouth and stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Similar concept except like for your skin. If your skin is like too clean, it can get dry, it can get infected, like it's not good to be super clean all the time.
Uh-huh. Wow, like, here's my thing. I will wake up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't take a shower within an hour, I feel really gross. So, like, you will, like, take, like, a morning or nighttime
I do.
shower, like, once every 2 days?
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people do that.
I do it in the evening typically, but yeah.
I know that's popular. But I
Yeah.
know, like, for some, but, like, I grew up, my parents, like, the only reason I got a 12-year-old sister, and, like, she showers once every 2 days, because, you know, she's 12 years old. Like, you don't make your 6-year-old kid shower every day. You know what I mean? But, like,
Yeah.
But, yeah, my parents just grew up taking showers every day, and so I have to take showers every day, otherwise I feel, like, really, really gross.
Mm. Yeah.
Alright, here's another one. Can I put fridge magnets on my toaster?
Is that a legitimate question?
It's a legitimate question.
Um,
Wait,
I
then
I wouldn't.
why would you put a fridge magnet on a it's a fridge magnet?
If you have a hold on, if you have a metal toaster, right?
Yeah.
I can see where you want to do that, but you probably shouldn't.
Doesn't that completely
'Cause there's-
decimate the purpose of a fridge magnet?
You're looking beyond. You're looking at the wrong aspect of that question. It's not the fact that it's a fridge magnet going on a toaster. It's that the fridge magnet should not go on the toaster due to health hazards. It's a toaster. It has heating coils in it, and if that magnet attracts that heating coil to the side of the toaster, you're dead. Like your house catches on fire, and yeah, you're dead. You should not be doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't, like, here's one thing. I just learned, like, a month ago not to stick silverware in the toaster to grab, like, a bagel or something like that. I just learned that.
How did you not know that?
I did that all my life.
That's like super risky.
I didn't know, like, and it's like all metal silverware that I do it with, but I'm just like really fucking careful because I always thought in my head, probably wouldn't be too good if this touched like the brackets in there, but I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna do it anyways. But I saw videos of a guy touching it, and like his toaster fucking exploded. And I was just like, shit, it's like a homemade bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, we probably were just giving ideas out here for homemade bombs. Just plug in the toaster and fucking stick a knife in it. But
Which, by the way, we do not recommend doing.
oh no. Yeah, we don't recommend doing anything in here except for actual good advice. But wow, okay. All right, here's another one. Um, this this one's called. This one's from Hot Potato Stick. All right. I want to transfer to an online school because of my social anxiety. Is it a bad idea?
Sorry.
You're good. I'll talk. All right. Nothing against online schools. I heard online schools are great. I heard online schools are great, amazing resources. Say you don't have enough money to invest into a university and dorming, housing, food plans, classes, books, etc. And it's extremely like with online schools, you don't have to pay any of that. You just pay to it. You pay like on a per class. You basically pay on like a per class basis or tuition, no matter what the online school is. You don't pay for dorm. You don't pay for food. You save probably because dorming usually costs $9,000. I pay about $9,000 for my dorming, and I pay about $4,000 a year for my food, and so I pay about $14,000 for dorming and food, and so you save all of that money. So, and plus, I assume with an online school, all the books will be online, but that would kind of defeat the purpose. You know what I mean? If they weren't, but so and usually the typical college student spends about $1,000 to $1,200 on books and materials not per semester, per year, or 2 semesters. But I personally think that an online school kind of defeats the purpose of college because the most important aspect of college, don't get me wrong, is coming out with a degree, and that's what online schools accomplish. Also, I know someone who actually got their bachelor's through an online school, and it's really cool. However, I think the second most important thing coming out of college, especially for an engineer, is communication skills. Like, if you look at someone's life who has had great communication skills and versus someone who does not have good communication skills, that person who has great communication skills probably has a better job, has more of a social life, and is more involved in society. Like, I just think that if you do not have great communication skills, and granted, there are some really successful people that don't have great communication skills, but I feel like if you don't have great communication skills, you are going to miss an infinite amount of opportunities that are going to hit you in life. Like, I think the second most important thing coming out of college is communication skills, and I just don't think that going to an online school, like, if you're going to an online school, you're investing a lot of time into that online school, which means you're not investing a lot of time into communication skills, like talking to professors, talking to fellow classmates, getting help on homework, stuff like that. So me personally, I wouldn't do an online school. However, it does save a lot of money, I heard.
What you just said, though, kind of goes for anything because, like, I know with my field, like web design and graphic design, you have to be able to communicate with clients.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't communicate with clients, then you're not going to get the job.
Yep.
So, I mean, I did have online school or online classes throughout my college career, but it wasn't classes that would affect my ability to communicate with a client. It was more like, here's a history class, do it online. That's like typical stuff. But yeah, what Joe's saying is right. Like, if you just do strictly everything online, you're not going to be able to handle like in-person situations.
Yep. Yeah, it's very true. It's very, very true. Oh, here's one interesting. So we're recording this podcast on January 20th, 2018. And so at 2:00 in the morning, actually, which is pretty funny. But just 2 hours ago at midnight, the federal government shut down. Republicans and Democrats were not able to come to an agreement on the spending bill, and so currently we are in a government shutdown. So here's a really interesting question from DO13. Just submitted at midnight. What does the United States government shutdown mean for the average citizen? Do you want to do that in this moment?
No, not particularly.
Okay. Well, I forgot to kind of say this about me. I guess we'll learn more about each other as we go along. But I'm really, really into politics. I follow politics very closely. I'm going to try to astray from talking about politics in this podcast, except if it's in a certain section, and all of our politics lovers can come to that section of our podcast. However, in our general podcast, I'm going to try to astray from talking about that, because I know things can get pretty divided, especially in the current state of our country. But just so you guys know, I'm not a full-blown liberal, but I lean liberal. But I do agree with a lot of Republican ideals also. I believe in compromise, and I believe that compromise is the only way that our country is going to work. However, what does the United States government shutdown mean for the average citizen? Well, it really depends on how long it lasts. To answer your question, Dio, you honestly aren't, like, I know a couple years ago there was a government shutdown, and no one really noticed anything. Like, basically with the federal government shutdown, like, it's weird because it goes so unnoticed. So I can't really talk about like the short-term effects, but I can tell you, if it goes on for about a month, you may, like, national parks will close. Social security checks will come in kind of late, which is not good for families depending on social security checks. Yeah, it's odd. There's a lot of different odds and ends. However, I'm going to say this. If you're an average citizen of the United States, a government shutdown, you're not really going to notice it. I can tell you right now. So there's really no reason to worry. Here's the only thing about it. A government shutdown is basically a failure to sign a spending bill. And it's all politics. It's all disagreement in the spending bill. Let them figure that shit out. You keep going to work. You keep supporting your family. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah, pretty much it. It's just, don't think about it. Just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah, okay. Honestly, the last time it happened, we were fine. So
yeah, like, no one died from it. May have gotten the flu. All right. All right.
Yo, speaking about the flu, since you just mentioned it, this is the most severe case of flu, like, doctors and professionals in that field have ever seen. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, like, especially with Anthony works in the hospital.
People out there, whatever. If you get the flu, stay the hell home. Like, don't go to your job, don't go to your school. Just go home, sleep, take medicine, don't socialize with like anybody, like, because you're just gonna spread it, and then more people are gonna get sick, and then they're gonna hate you. So, like, yeah, if you're sick, stay home. If you're not sick, cover your face, and literally, there's nothing wrong with suggesting that someone else covers their face, because I know there's people out there that don't do that.
I fucking hate people like that, that, like, will, like right on their fucking desk.
Yeah.
It literally makes me want to clock someone in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's gross. When people like
Yeah, no, it
cough, like
is.
I get it when like a little kid does it. When a little kid does it, you're just like, oh. But, like when an
Yeah.
adult does it, it's like screw you. You can burn the pits of hell. So yeah, cover yourself out there. Cover yourself, like your mouth, nose, down there when you're having sex. Be safe. And yeah,
Totally unrelated, but okay.
that kind of stuff. I heard this strain of influenza was like really, really bad this year. I was just reading an article. 30 kids in the United States this flu season died from the flu because it's so bad.
Yeah.
30 kids
Yep.
died. And like senior citizens, middle-aged people, like you can have this version, or I shouldn't say version, strain or mutation of the flu is so bad that you can have a perfectly healthy, granted, this is in rare cases, but you can have a perfectly healthy immune system and it just completely compromises you and eventually leads to death. Like unfortunately and sad to hear, but 30 kids died from it. So just be very careful if someone seems really sick. Just if they're kind of just being out there, tell them to cover up, or best thing to do is honestly just stay away from them if you can. But I know personally, I'm at college and this is my first year being at college and I forgot to take my flu shot. Like make sure you get your flu shots out there. That's what the flu shots are for. They're not going to give you autism. They prevent you from getting the flu.
I never have taken the flu shot, and actually, well, the one time that I did, I got really, really sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably something that I shouldn't be doing, but I've never taken the flu shot.
For those of you scared of I know you're not scared of taking the flu shot. You just don't
No,
do
it's not
it.
that
But
I'm scared. I don't think it's that big a deal.
But
If my body's gonna get sick, it's just gonna get sick, and then I'll get over it.
Yeah.
But
for those of you that are worried of what the flu shot does or not sure of what it does, and that's why you don't get it, here's what the flu does. The flu shot is basically a dead or a weakened virus that they put into your system. And so say we're going to call the flu virus X. And so scientists are going to take virus X and they're going to suppress it. They're going to make it really, really weak. And so it's basically the flu, but extremely weak. And so they're going to put that into your body. You're going to get a little bit sick, but your immune system is going to create something called antibodies to fight against it. And so during the winter season, if you actually come across the flu, your body will fight the flu immediately, hence meaning you won't get the flu. However, if you don't get the flu shot, once the flu is in you, you're pretty damn sick for 3 weeks to a month. And so, like, just kind of be careful out there. Like, if you don't get the flu shot, just take extra precautions. Like, don't mouth, nose, eyes. Don't touch with your hands. Wash your hands frequently. Kind of stay away from sick people a little bit. Just be careful out there, guys, because I know the strain is especially bad. I heard it's not a good strain for the flu.
Can we touch on something real quick?
Yeah.
This Tide Pod thing is the stupidest thing.
Oh,
I've ever heard.
oh my God. Why are kids eating fucking Tide Pods?
Dude, I have no idea.
Granted,
But
Tide Pod sales are probably through the roof. Good for them.
Yeah, like, good job on making sure that they get their revenue out of it. But
Yeah.
why are you eating them? Why?
I was watching the funniest shit earlier. I was watching YouTube, and Tide had an advertisement of how to avoid having your kids eat Tide Pods. It was just like, wow.
And I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah.
Literally, like I think I saw, was it 11 people now have died from eating Tide Pods, and these are adults. These aren't kids. Like,
what?
From kids, like babies, they said it was 9 babies that died, but that's a baby, and they don't know better.
Yeah, babies
but
eat all the
11
shit.
adults have eaten Tide Pods and died. So, like, why? What is the fascination of, like, okay, I get that it's a challenge. You want to, like, meet the standards of, like, being that person that does all the challenges. Oh yeah, I did the ice bucket challenge, whatever. This is a stupid challenge. This is when they could literally kill you, and you're doing it. Why?
There's these terrible travesties out there. 9/11, then Syrian refugee crisis, and now it's kids dying from eating Tide Pods.
I wouldn't put it on that big a scale, but it's still really dumb.
No, it's wow. Yeah, please, if you have Tide Pods, please just use it for laundry. And if you're tempted to eat it, just throw it away. Because it does not belong in your body. But yeah, I was watching YouTube earlier today, and Tide literally had a commercial for where to safely put your Tide Pods. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, why are kids eating Tide Pods? It's really, really dumb.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah, there's no place for a Tide Pod. Okay.
No, honestly, take the Tide Pod and, throw it in the laundry machine and actually do some laundry. Maybe that would be more beneficial than you eating the Tide Pod.
Exactly.
Nah.
All right, here's another one. This one's a little weird. All right. For a first time having sex, is it weird to cream pie?
We have crossed a line that we cannot.
I'll talk about it.
We cannot go back at this point.
I'll talk about it.
This is.
All right, so they call me a sex enthusiast for a reason. No, I'm just kidding. But I've had sex before, and I'm not going to go into the details of it. However, I'm just going to say my first time was not a cream pie, and it wasn't even any kind of pie. There was no pie. It was stopped like halfway through, and I was just really
unfortunate.
It was unfortunate. It was almost like going to the World Cup. I'm fucking jamming. I'm really excited, and fucking not Sandy Hook. Jesus Christ, Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh wow! Sandy Hook did not come in. Sandy Hook, very unfortunate. But Hurricane Sandy came in and washed out the halftime show, and we all had to go home. And it was a tie game, and we're really fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? Like that's how unsatisfying it was for me. I was really deeply saddened.
That's just sad.
Yeah, so I think a cream pie is healthy. I think it really shows your affection. I don't know.
You do realize that term means to
nut inside a girl,
and stay there. But you can get the same satisfaction with not having it stay there.
No, exactly, yeah. Like you can externally pie.
No, that's no longer a pie at that point.
Yeah, no,
that's just frosting.
Yeah, you can frost her. You can put the frosting on there, or you can put the filling. It's either way. You can cream the Twinkie, or you can frost it. But yeah, I'd say for me, I prefer cream pie. It's nice. It's nice and warm, and it's good.
It's the riskier way to go.
It's risky.
Yeah.
However, I would consider wearing a condom still cream pieing.
Oh, well, in that case, it's not that anymore either.
Really?
It would just be regular,
safe
a
sex.
good old time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say I have or haven't, but yeah, I'd say if you're trying to make a family, or if she's on a really effective form of birth control, then yeah, that's fine. But in
that respect, yeah.
Yep. But not even for younger kids, just adults even. It's always good to practice safe sex. You don't know what your partner has, and I feel until you get on a really, really close mutual level where you both know basically everything about each other and you get on like an appropriate form of birth control if you're not trying to have a kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just gotten to the point where we're extremely educational at this point. This is, what we call quality content.
Yeah, this podcast is weird. I thought this podcast is just going to be filled with weird shit, and we're actually talking about actual good advice. But yeah, like unless she's on like good birth control or your balls are dry, yeah. So I'd say that's a go. That's a go. Awesome. Yeah, that's weird. Good telling.
You got any other interesting questions?
All right. All right. Here's go.
Yeah.
I'm lactose intolerant. This is by Sabretooth66. I'm lactose intolerant. Why are my farts so out of control when I eat ice cream? ... For days.
Because you ate ice cream. Now, hold on though. An alternative to that would be to do sherbet. Sherbet's good for you.
He's got a description to it.
And I don't want another description.
He said, I've been lactose intolerant since I was freshman in high school, 15 years old. Last night, I said, fuck it, and enjoyed a big bowl of vanilla ice cream. I shouldn't have done that, but it's never been this bad. I'm 31, I'm a male, and I'm eating well daily. What is actually going on inside my body when I consume dairy? It's been 2 days now, and I have world-ending farts. At this point, I'm convinced I could break wind on a padlock, and it would melt. Okay.
You might need to go to a doctor to have that checked out. We're not doctors. We're not, believe it or not.
Yeah, luckily I have a concentration in medical, though. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like seriously, your condition does, contribute to you having extremely destructive farts, as you said. But there's other options where you can still enjoy cold dessert treats that don't have milk in them, and yeah, you should probably be checking those out instead of trying to eat ice cream. Like, I get it, ice cream's delicious, but like I said, there's sherbet, there's actually milk-free ice cream, lactose-free ice cream. Yep. You can eat that. That's a safe option. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I used to actually be lactose intolerant, and for some people, it's weird. Some people have it for their entire life. Some people only have it for their childhood, and some people actually get lactose intolerant in their 40s and 50s. It's really, really weird. But I used to be very, very lactose intolerant. And my mother and father found out when I was a baby. Whenever I would drink milk, from that upper titty, I would have projectile vomit, and it was really fucking gross. And I remember being like 12, 13 years old, which wasn't that long ago, and I was still really lactose intolerant. And if I had like lactose milk, something like that, like lactose-free milk or that bullshit. But when I wanted to actually have regular milk, because lactose-free milk tastes like shit, it honestly does. When I had a bowl of actual milk, if you've seen like those terrible 360p quality videos of mudslides in India and shit like that on YouTube, that came out of my ass for days, and it was fucking disgusting. It felt like someone was putting a blowtorch on the inside of my asshole because it burned so bad. And so, if you're lactose intolerant, don't do that to yourself. However, if you're lactose intolerant and you keep... I feel like if you keep consuming lactose products, you start... Because I built an immunity to it. However, building that immunity sucks major dicks. So, sorry to... And you also just regularly grow out of it. I know some people will be lactose intolerant and then they won't have any milk products for like 5 years. And then they try it out and then it's just fucking gone. And so, it's weird. Your human body's weird. But if you're lactose intolerant and you know you're lactose intolerant, just don't eat stuff with lactose in it unless you want mudslides out of your ass. Um,
No, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be like encouraging people to try to like build up a tolerance to milk if they
oh
know
yeah,
they're lactose
no,
intolerant. That's
yeah,
that's not a good idea.
yeah, no, don't do that. I did that, and it was I had spicy butthole for days. Don't give yourself spicy butthole unless you like the feeling of spicy butthole. Then go ahead. Um, okay, here we go.
Should we consider
Well,
maybe ending this particular podcast
last one.
and saving the rest for another day? All right.
Here's the last one.
Okay.
Would you rather every time you sneeze you biologically change genders, or you can't tell the difference between muffins and babies?
Whoa. Wait, like forever?
Forever. You have to choose one.
The sneezing.
Sneezing?
Yeah, I'd be totally okay with that.
Really?
Yeah. I would have to like find ways to make myself sneeze so that I can change it, anytime. But I would much rather do that than not know if I'm looking at a muffin or a baby. You know what I mean?
This is gonna sound really fucked up,
What?
but I love muffins. And I love babies. And like
Right. So you wouldn't want to be in the position where you don't know the difference, right?
because like well, here's the thing. They don't really explain like between muffins and babies. Like so do I think a baby is a muffin or do I think a muffin is a baby? But
No,
anyways,
no.
so
No. I'm assuming when they say that, right?
you look at a baby and you think it's a muffin.
You look at a baby and it's a muffin.
Okay.
You look at a muffin, it might be a baby.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
so
not knowing to me would be like a terrible thing. Like someone
Yeah.
hands me their newborn baby and I think it's a muffin. I take a bite. They're like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know.
oh yeah, that's true. You can get arrested. Oh,
Yeah,
I was just
well,
eating a muffin.
yeah.
I was just eating a muffin. What the fuck, bro?
Try explaining that one to the police. This looks like a muffin to me, sir. Okay.
This muffin's jelly filled. But yeah, here's the thing. I love muffins. I absolutely love muffins. I think if no one was around when I ate muffins, I would be fine with it. But if someone was around when I ate muffins, they would see me eating a baby, and I'd probably go to some weird Siberian prison for the rest of my life. For biologically changing genders every time I sneeze, I wouldn't mind being a girl. However, girls go through way more hell. Because like I know like I will sneeze like 5 times every day for a week. But there are some times where I don't go for like a month or two at a rip. Like I go for a month or two at a rip and just don't sneeze. And so like imagine like I guess you can make yourself sneeze, however like what if it was something you couldn't control? So like you're just a girl for 2 months and then you have to go through periods and cramps and all that bullshit. And with guys, you just get to jack off and play FIFA every day. And so I'd honestly choose the muffins and babies one, and I would just eat my muffins in private. However, I think it'd be pretty hard if I were like in New York City or something and see like a stroller and just see a muffin in it and be like, holy fuck, that's a muffin. I would probably grab the muffin and eat it, and then I get punched in the face. But yeah. Also, I'm just kind of thinking about it. I microwave my muffins. That's just terrible. Yeah, no, now thinking of that, I'm thinking of microwaving babies. I'm probably gonna go towards biologically changing genders.
I think as much as your disposition to the whole idea of people being, different genders or claiming they're different genders, you would probably be fine with
Yeah.
the sneezing gender change.
Yeah,
And like
agree.
I said, you can just find ways to make yourself sneeze.
Yep.
And you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you might love running around as a woman for a while. You probably wouldn't know what to do yourself.
I would get banged every night by big guys. Just big, sweaty guys.
And then in the morning, all you'd have to do is sneeze, and you'd be good to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
You'd be fine with that.
I already forgot the name of our podcast. What's the name of our podcast?
One-sided logic.
There we go. Well, that damn, we went for an hour. Nice,
Yeah,
but
we did.
what was it again? One-sided logic. Okay, so
One-sided logic.
yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. That one was a little more serious. Next, and I know I'm sorry, but that was all like open mic and just gathering some questions late at night. But for our next podcast, I hope you guys tune in. I'm kind of gonna get, and just so you guys know, that's like we're gonna have like different bits, and so like that's a bit where we just answer certain questions, and we're gonna create more bits. But for right now, that's the only bit we got. But by next
And
podcast,
there's no schedule by any means.
yeah,
It was
there's
just,
absolutely no
yeah.
schedule. It's just gonna be posted. But I can almost guarantee it'll probably be around one or two, or it'll at least probably be one a week.
Mhm.
I can almost guarantee. I'm not going to guarantee it, but that little bit we were doing with answering questions is just going to be one bit. By next podcast, we're going to try and work on, and pretty soon it'd be nice if when we go deeper into the podcast we have multiple bits. But that was just an hour of us answering questions, and that's just one bit. That's not what our podcast is mainly focused on. But I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit. I hope you guys tune in to the next podcast. We'll have some new stuff for you and some newer content. I know that was a little more on the more serious end. We had some funny parts in there. We did have some funny parts in there. But yeah, I hope you
that was
guys,
Joe. And
yeah.
This is Anthony.
Hey guys, welcome to One Sided Podcast. I'm Joe.
You screwed up already.
What? How did I screw up? I can cut it,
One-sided
but-
logic.
Oh my fuck dick. I'm gonna end up cutting this, but all right. All right. Fuck dick, man. All right. Hey guys, welcome to fuck me. Oh my god. I'm gonna include this at the end with bloopers. All right.